Chiefs and Ravens, Lions, 49ers. Conference Championship Week is here, so make your winning move today and bet at MyBookie. Use promo code Gators and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
The Gators Breakdown podcast is ready to go. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC. And here we are, one more adding to the Gators roster. Just keep adding, this time through the transfer portal. One with a lot of experience. Asa Turner is going to transfer from Washington and come to the Florida Gators. Be part of this 2024 class. Be part of this transfer portal class. The Gators are kind of just putting the final touches on right now this week. And so this is a big one. This is an instant impact. This is a starter. Turner can come in and make an immediate impact for a defense that absolutely has to improve. You go get players like this. And that's what Florida did here with Turner. So hit that like button, like that. Hey, we got a new player to talk about right here. Another transfer portal pickup, one that will pay immediate dividends. Like, subscribe right here on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Either way, like, subscribe. It really goes a long way in helping us out right here on Gators Breakdown. When you subscribe, you get those notifications when there's a new episode of Gators Breakdown. Leave a comment. We'll go there. I've been responding to a good bit of comments lately with everything been going on and all this roster churn right here for Florida. And just keep adding. And with this one, I mean, you know, Florida's around that 85. It's got to be 85 by fall. That's the only number that matters right now. So all that good stuff. And man, tell you what, some new members there lately for Gators Breakdown Plus. You can take part in the description and take part in the conversation going on there on Gators Breakdown Plus. Link is in the description there to join Gators Breakdown Plus, get access to that Discord, have those chats there, extra episodes, ad-free episodes, all that good stuff happening at Gators Breakdown Plus. Link is in the description to join. And before we get to Asa Turner and his commitment to the Gators, what he brings to the table, what type of player he is, this conference championship week. Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, 49ers, the Super Bowl coming up. You know MyBookie's going to have you covered. All those wonderful games they put together right there at MyBookie. And with all that, you can put cash in your wallet. MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests anywhere to fill all your sports betting needs this conference championship weekend, anytime, anywhere. So you can turn all that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. The NFL conference championship weekend is here. Bet on all that or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie. Use promo code Gators and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code Gators to claim your bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, Gator Nation, let's do it. We got to commit. And that is Asa Turner right here and bringing the experience, bringing the size back there on the back end. 6'3", little over 200-pound defender, originally from California, signed with Washington in the 2019 class. He played in 12 of their 13 games that season as a true freshman. Started 5 games as a true freshman. Played in all 4 of Washington's games in the 2020 COVID-shortened season. And then played in 10 games 10 games each over the next 2 seasons. In his first 4 years, off and on starter, 6 interceptions in those 4 years, averaged 3.4 tackles per game while breaking up 8 passes. And that 4th year, that 2022 season, that's when Kalen DeBoer arrived at Washington. Of course, Alabama's new coach. Kalen DeBoer taking Washington to the national championship. But when he arrived in 2022, his first season, he gave Turner the starting role at free safety. Turner kind of had some battles there starting, battled players, battled some injuries. But when Kalen DeBoer came 2022, gave that starting role to Asa Turner. So those new coaches, they're at Washington, really had a lot to say about the type of player he was. And those new coaches, they drew a type of commitment from Turner that wasn't always there before. And going back and what they had to say about him. And DeBoer jokingly said in a press conference, I swear he's living somewhere in this building, he said of Turner. He's got a bed, he's got a dresser, he's got all of his clothes somewhere in this building. He's in here nonstop, all day, every day. With that, Turner admittedly went from being a reluctant tackler to a much more physical player. You saw the transformation. Once Kalen DeBoer got there, Turner transforms his game and admittedly becomes a better tackler. So projected to start this past season in 2023, Pro Football Focus named Turner a 2023 preseason All-American, third-team member, but he was limited to just 4 regular season games due to a hand injury, playing with a cast and club and all that on his hand. A starter for the first 2 games of the season while wearing a club on his hand. Turner got hurt against Tulsa in the first series, went out for nearly a month, missing 3 games. Returned for that big matchup, the first Oregon matchup of the season. Came back as a reserve safety in that game, played a big role, 7 tackles in that game in Washington's 36-33 victory in mid-October versus Oregon. And then he started the following week against Arizona State. 5 tackles in that game, 15-7 tough, hard-fought win there for Washington. But he got hurt again and missed another 5 games. And he would post on social media how he underwent surgery. So Turner came back, missed those games late in the season, those 5 games, but came back when Washington needed him the most. Came back and played in all 3 of their postseason games. The Pac-12 title game and the 2 college football playoff games. Let it be known, it came out that the free safety dealt with 3 wrist or hand surgeries over the past 6 months on both the left and the right sides. So one big plus about Turner, came back, kept playing, kept fighting through injuries. But one big plus about him is he handles Washington's shifts, audibles. That's what he had. He was the one doing that for the Washington. When he was out there on the field, readily available, ready to play, he was the one handling the defensive shifts and the audibles for the Washington defense. He came back midseason. His co-defensive coordinator said, from a leadership standpoint, that's where Asa has his strength of the core and the unit as one of the leaders, said co-defensive coordinator William Inge. Him being able to drive the defense, know exactly what's going on in the back end, and being able to get people aligned, being able to make calls, checks, and adjustments, there's an extreme comfort level when he's back there of you knowing everyone's going to be on the same page. That's huge. That's huge for this Florida defense. What did we see time and time again of the deep passes and explosive passes? All the explosives the opposing offense were able to take advantage of because this Florida defense wasn't ready, wasn't on the same page. You had a lot of youth in that Florida defensive backfield. That's not going to be the case now. Now you can bring somebody in who's got the experience of leading a defense, somebody who makes the checks, makes the calls, makes the alignments. The type of player Florida needed to get in the transfer portal, that's what they got here. Turner spent 5 seasons with the Huskies, making 43 appearances with 96 solo tackles, 148 total tackles. His best season was in 2022 when he exploded for a career-high 52 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 3 passes defended. He was able to take this red shirt last season because he got hurt. Yeah, I just went through this 2023 season, this past season. He only played in 4 regular season games, so that's why he was able to get a red shirt and have 1 more year of eligibility, and now going to use that to come to Florida. 72.5 PFF grade, technically in his 6th year now. I mean, about 1,800 snaps of football you get right here. Excellent, of course, experience, That's the main thing. But as I said, I'll keep pinpointing the experience and where Florida needed it the most. The defensive backfield and help in any way possible. Reduce those number of explosive plays we saw game in and game out from this Gator defense. So it brings a ton of experience in just so many ways that Florida needs it at that position. Being able to just lead back there. Jordan Castell had to learn on the fly last year. Bryce Thornton had to learn on the fly last year. Those guys bring some experience back too in this same defense. But now you get somebody who can bring the other element of the experience, years of it. Should make this defense much, much better on the back end. He also did have shoulder injury in 2021 that held him back. So some injuries may be concerned, to keep an eye on here. So, of course, from Washington to Florida, not such an easy move. Not really. All the way across country. Remember, he's originally from California, went to Washington, and now makes the cross-country trek to Florida. And one big reason, the big pull that really helps Florida here, is new defensive back coach Will Harris. Of course, he was at Washington. And then back in 2019, when Turner was making his decision to go to a college, Harris was there. Harris was there with him until after the 2021 season. So that familiarity really, really paying off here for Florida. I mean, things you didn't even know at the time you hired Will Harris. Just a few weeks later, things like this fall in your lap. And talk about falling in your lap, this was kind of odd too. Just think about how all this plays out. Caleb Downs at Bama. He enters the portal. Really good safety for Bama as a true freshman. They got an opening at safety. And where is Turner's former head coach? The coach he just got through playing for at Alabama. Where Caleb Downs left a hole at safety. Don't you think they could use Turner? Well, Turner is at Florida, not Bama. Where, believe me, he could have easily went. You don't think the board, and the way Bama's roster, especially with Downs out, but with Bama's roster just being gutted right now, he'd love to have a familiar player in this. I mean, guys, it's already helped Florida one time with Jameer Grimsley, but this angle of a Nick Saban retirement and it being so late, Florida's benefited twice now from that. Because with Bama needing a new head coach, they went and got DeBoer. That opened up for Turner to hit the transfer portal. And he didn't go to Bama. He didn't follow DeBoer there. He comes to Florida. But that move was only made because Nick Saban retired. Jameer Grimsley was he'd be still at Bama right now if Nick Saban was head coach. DeBoer would probably still be at Washington and their head coach. Turner may have returned there for his last go around. Up that draft stock. But now he's going to come to Florida and up that draft stock. But all this happened because Nick Saban retired. And Florida's benefited twice now. Hey, doesn't matter how it happens. Upgrade the talent. And that's exactly what happened here. This new world of college football, things like this are going to happen. Be the benefactor. Make the best of it. Some guys you may miss on the first round. Some guys like Turner, well, you hire a coach like Will Harris, that relationship may pay off. And that's exactly what's happening here. Florida's put themselves in position to take advantage of a Nick Saban retirement and everything that comes after that. Florida's defensive backfield is better because Nick Saban retired. It's crazy how it all works out. Oh, man. And like I said, going back to the point, it gives Florida great experience on the back end. And to me, you pencil, and maybe Sharpie it. But Turner's a starter, given his production at Washington, in my opinion. And he joins Jordan Castell and Bryce Thornton, who's had experience in this defense last year on the back end. But to me, it also raises the question of what else happens there. Triquez Bridges transfers in from Oregon. What happens with him now? DJ Douglas comes in as well as a safety. He was more of a reserve in my mind anyway, but who knows? Maybe he comes in and pushes for a spot. But for Bridges, he let it be known that he wants to play safety. And the discussions with the staff that, he would play safety. So how does this shake out? I'm really interested. Florida, look, this is what you do. You upgrade the room. You create competition. You create depth. I think Florida's got some nice choices here at safety. I mean, if all four of those guys are competing at safety, Florida should be in pretty good shape of Turner and Bridges and Castell and Thornton. Now, maybe it works out just a bit different. With Turner back there, maybe it's just now Bridges, Castell, and Thornton as your main three safeties. Does Bridges now maybe go to nickel? Look, he's played corner. He's played a little bit of safety at Oregon. He's supposed to play safety here at Florida. Does now that little hybrid nickel star, does Bridges now maybe find himself battling with Sharif Denson at nickel? I think it's going to be fascinating when we get to spring practice of how all this works out, how the staff sees how this works out. Maybe I'll start asking around a bit. This was still kind of on the heels of the announcement, but how's this going to shake out back there? Florida hit the defensive backfield hard in the transfer portal. Needed to hit it hard in the transfer portal. I like this move. I mean, there should be. We're not going to be using Castell, Thornton, plenty of experience last year. I don't care if they're in their second year; they got plenty of experience. Now you bring in a Bridges and a Turner. There's no youth experience on the back end of this defense anymore. There's not, or there shouldn't be. If there is, well, that means all these guys failed, and you're back there playing freshmen. All these guys aren't going to get hurt to give freshmen chances. So this should benefit Florida. This should really benefit Florida. So however it shakes out, there's competition, there's experience. Should really benefit what Rob Roberts is trying to do, Austin Armstrong is trying to do, Will Harris is trying to do back there, Billy Napier is the head coach. And tie that in with, more production up front as well, we're hoping to see. All that experience on the back end, hopefully more production up front. This all should combine for the defense to take a step. Ron Roberts coming in and helping Austin Armstrong lead this defense. All these things combined, we should see better defense. But we've been saying that for a few seasons in a row now. Should be better. Should be better. Should be better. It really should. It really should be better. And my biggest question now is, who's rushing the passer? I think getting somebody like Turner, Bridges, Castell, Thornton on the back end, okay, I feel better about that. My biggest question on defense now is, can the young linebackers come together with Shamar James, with Pup Howard coming in, those freshmen coming in? Can Wingo step up a bit more? Jaden Robinson, but all these, most of it's what are those young guys going to do at linebacker? And then up front, the biggest question is, who's going to rush the passer consistently? You get answers to those questions, and I'm not saying they have to be outstanding answers, but they need to be better answers than what we've seen. I feel better about the back end now. Now, of course, we got to go see it. And given the 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-yard plays they guys helped give up last year, need to see it on that back end too. But I feel like the answers are going to pay off on the back end. I feel confident that in more than, hey, look, I still got to see that linebacker a bit with all the young guys there that need to step up. The young guys need to make an impact this year. What I'm asking for on the back end is some experienced transfers to make a difference back there. And for Castell's experience to pay off. Thornton's experience to pay off. At linebacker, I'm still waiting for that young production. Some of it's because they're true freshmen. We just don't have anything to go by. Grayson Howard's a true freshman last year at South Carolina. Jaden Robinson, true freshman last year at Florida. All those guys combined, there's not a lot of snaps there. Especially compared to a Castell and a Thornton. That experience should pay off. For Florida's linebacker core, they're just going to have to kind of do what the Castell and Thornton did last year. They're going to have to rise up as young players. And then for Florida edge, we'll have to see. What Slackman coming in, he's not your pure pass rush edge guy. But how much of an impact can he make to on one side of the defensive line where, he can filter to whoever that edge player is going to be and help get to the quarterback. There's my questions. But there's some good makeup on this defense right now. But doesn't mean it comes together. All right, so right here with Turner, Florida's 11th transfer. So kind of got through it. We'll see. I mean, I'm not so sure Florida's done here. They can be. We got a spring portal window as well, but I am talking immediate. Like, if Florida goes over 85 right now, who cares? It's got to be over 85 by the time fall camp starts. It can work itself out. It usually does. Florida's 11th transfer now with Turner coming in. And among those, give me Turner, offensive line Devin Manuel, linebacker Grayson Howard, wide receiver Chimere Dike, defensive back Chiquez Bridges, defensive lineman Joey Slackman, offensive lineman Brandon Crenshaw Dixon as possible starters. All those guys. That's 7 out of the 11 transfers that I think are possible starters for this Gators team. Needed to get immediate impact. 7 of 11 of them are going to be impactful. How many starters? Now, Turner, Howard, DK, Slackman, Crenshaw, Dixon, I think are for sure starters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 starters out of 11. For sure. To me, if I had to pick a starter or not, I'm saying Turner, Pup Howard, Chimere DK, Joey Slackman, Crenshaw Dixon. I think those are starters. I would have said Bridges was for sure until Turner just came in. But I think Bridges is going to be like one of those slash guys. Maybe not start, but he'll have just as many snaps as some of these other guys. I think he's going to be a plus player for this Gator defense. But I'm not going to be shocked if he's starting. I would kind of be shocked to see somebody like Jordan Castell not start. So on the back end, is it Turner and Castell? I could see that. And Bridges being the odd man out if he's the safety. If he doesn't move to another position. He can play corner. I know it's been talked about. And I think that's what we got to figure out. Do the plans change for somebody like Chiquez Bridges? I know he wants to play safety. But were there other conversations being had? Hey, if we need you at corner, could you play it now? I mean, he's transferring in. I'm sure he wanted to play safety. That's probably still the plan. I would imagine it is. But when you get to spring and maybe it's not working, or the plan just changes even before spring. We'll see. I think that's a fascinating storyline to watch for me. But if anything, I think it gives Florida 4 pretty good safeties back there. But as far as the transfer portal goes, I think about five starters and up to 7 of the 11 being huge impact. Guys that are going to play a lot of football for Florida in 2024. I'm talking about, when I say that and I say starters and I bring up these names, I mean immediate impact. Guys that are going to be playing a ton of snaps game in and game out. We know how much Florida needs it in this critical year for Billy Napier. With this tough schedule and needing to put some wins on the board. He needed some instant impact guys. Did you get enough? That'll remain to be seen. But I like a lot of the pieces here. All right, there we go. Man, a lot of storylines to this one. A lot of storylines when you start combining everything, how we got here with the Saban retirement, DeBoer going to Bama. I mean, it's a Will Harris coming in and having that connection to Turner. I mean, there's a lot of angles to this one. And then, of course, big picture-wise, with just all the transfers Florida's brought in, how they all fit together. But all in all, really good experienced player here for Turner. Excited he's a Gator. As long as he's healthy, I think we're going to see a lot of him this fall. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Gators Breakdown. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC. Guys and girls out there, thank you for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown.